Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm finally uploading a video way quicker than how I usually do it. Usually I wait 6 months to a year, but I was like, you know what, let me get in my YouTube bag, let me update. So much has been going on. If you hear a lot of background noise, I'm in my closet, which is in the front of my house, which that's where all the noise is, where the main street is. So I'll try my best to talk over it. I live in a Caribbean neighborhood, so you know, they be outside doing their thing all day, whatever. But yeah, so I wanted to do a new video and update you guys on some things. So this video is basically going to be me talking about, you know, how I came to build my dungeon. So since my last update, not the Vice video that I did, which I just re-uploaded. Since my last update, when I talked about the life of a findom, I opened a dungeon here in Brooklyn, New York. Best experience of my life. Glad I finally did it. Glad I finally went through with it, because let me tell you, trying to rent from white spaces in New York City, especially dungeons, as a black dom, is not it. And I'm gonna tell you guys why it's not it. So for those that have never worked in dungeons before, or had experience with dungeons, basically dungeons are where doms go to do their in-person sessions with subs that they have vetted, subs that they have known for a while, subs that they have basically, you know, got the references, done all the safety checks, all that good stuff or whatever. So basically it's a space for you to be able to do your session. A lot of dungeons, they offer props, tools, equipment, different rooms. They allow you to do content sometimes. Some dungeons, they bring in subs for you. Some dungeons, you just rent the rooms out to bring in your own personal subs. So there's so many different locations like this in New York, mostly in Manhattan. So when I first started on my journey, I was working at a dungeon, and I literally only worked there for one day because it was so racist. It was in Midtown. It's a place basically where you go, they set up your profile for you on your you know, on their website, and then they advertise you to different subs that are in their network. The subs come in, you charge your fee, the dungeon takes a percentage off top, blah blah blah. So my first day working there, I remember I went in, the environment was not welcoming at all. I remember I was sitting in the waiting area. There was a girl that had been working there for a long time. She was like, "You're in my seat." And I'm like, hold on. It was like a white girl. I was like, okay. I was like, there's other seats in here. I said, there's a nicer way to ask me to, you know, move if this is a certain seat that you sit in. But, you know, either way, I wasn't going to move. So she was giving all that attitude. I never moved. So that was strike number one for me. Like, why are you hiring doms that are being bitches to newer doms in here or whatever? Anyway, the second strike for me was when basically you sit around all day and wait to get booked. So you never know when a sub is going to choose you from their website and want to book you. So the second strike for me was when, you know, it was slow, nothing was really happening for me. You know, I didn't have many high expectations because I had just started out and I was just getting my name out there. But it was to the point where it was slow. I was hungry, so I'm telling the lady that was running it, the manager at the time, whatever, I'm like, you know, it's slow, I want to go out and get me some food. She was like, oh, you're not allowed to leave to get food, you can only order in. And I'm like, you expect us to sit in this dungeon all day, barely any windows, dark as hell, and we can't go outside for any sunlight to get any food, take a smoke break if we smoke, you know, call somebody, whatever. We have to just stay inside the whole time. And I thought that was absolutely crazy. So that was strike number two for me. Strike number three was basically them just throwing you to the wolves, them not giving you any rules on how things go, what you should do if you feel unsafe or uncomfortable. It was basically just you're here now, you signed up because we liked your look or whatever, and now you have to wait for a client. I left early. I didn't even tell them I was leaving, y'all. I just straight up left. I grabbed my shit, I looked both ways in the hallway, and I was out. I was like, fuck this shit, this is not for me. I'm not doing this. I did not quit my 9 to 5 for this bullshit. That's literally how it was. So I remember leaving and I was like, yo, is this how every dungeon is gonna be? Because, you know, a lot of people don't really give you insight on dungeons. You pretty much just have to go and figure it out yourself or whatever. So I was like, is this how dungeons are going to be? So then when I got to the point in my career where, you know, I was more established or whatever, and I was starting to rent from dungeons, so I was now bringing in my own subs, meaning I had to pay the dungeon's rental fee and bring in my own sub. Even those places had mad microaggressions. The white doms that would run the spaces, they would ask questions to me that weren't necessary questions. I understand asking the safety questions, you want to know my references, you want to know how much experience I have, you want to know what I would do in this situation, if I know about protocol and safety and consent and all that stuff. I get that, but it would be to the point where I feel like they were asking questions trying to basically dumbed down my journey, like, you know, how long have you been doing this? Are you sure you can do this session? Oh, you have this type of session today? Is he ready for that or whatever? If not, we can refer him to other doms. Like, I literally had a white dom tell me that, like, I don't know how experienced you are in foot worship, but we have a dom that works here that's really experienced in it, so maybe you can refer him to her. And I'm like, it's my client. Like, what are you talking about? Not only that, always feeling like you're being watched like a hawk during your session. Like, I understand that you rent out for a certain amount of hours and you have to be right on the hour, but there used to be times where there was no one else behind me, and like even cleaning up I would feel rushed, and I'm like, yo, why do I feel like you're breathing down my neck? And then it would just be really standoffish or whatever. The one black dungeon that I used to rent from in Brooklyn, not in Brooklyn, in Manhattan, unfortunately it shut down. That was my best experience. I shot like a class there before, like a video class, and I did a session there before, and that was an amazing dungeon, and unfortunately it shut down. So I say all that to say, like, I knew that as a black dom, not only did I need my own space, but I needed a space where like other people could feel comfortable to rent from me. Where other black doms, whether new, old, or whatever, could just feel comfortable. And not only just a space to do like sessions, but like a space to throw events, workshops, classes, and all that, like academies or whatnot. So that's why I now have Whipz Dungeon in Brooklyn. I opened it alongside my partner, Goddess Rue, and Goddess Bria. It is an amazing space. It's in East New York. So when a lot of people hear East New York, they're like, but our point of bringing the dungeon to East New York was to bring it to a place where you at least expect it to be, and to bring it to a community that might need that experience, that might need to like be in touch with what's going on. So we've been open since March. Our opening party was insane. It ended up turning into like a worship party. So we had subs coming in, worshiping doms, worshiping women, doing foot rubs, serving them and all that stuff. It was so much fun. We've had some of my black and kinky parties there. We just had a pajama jam there like 2 weeks ago. We've also had like smaller parties, workshops. We've had people rent us out for bachelor parties and other types of things. So it's just been an amazing space. And then tomorrow, Thursday, August 4th, we are opening Whipz Dom Academy, which is amazing. So now I finally have an academy where people can come learn from me in person over a course of months. Like, it's legit a school. Like, there's tuition, there's a syllabus, we have guest instructors and all that, and it's going to run from now until November, 8 classes or whatever, and then we're going to do a spring semester from March to June, I believe. So fall semester is closed, but you can still sign up for spring semester. I'm going to put that information in the bio. But like, even opening the dungeon was such a journey. So like, I have to tell y'all about the journey, because it was not easy. It was not boom boom boom. Y'all know I'm the manifester of making sure that my life is easy and all this. Yes, I manifested this space, but let me tell you, the universe was like, bitch, you are going to put in some work for this, and I'm going to tell y'all how it went. So when first opening the dungeon, we really just had to scout for locations. Luckily, Rue knew of a location that was available to her, that her dad worked really closely with, so he was able to give us a space. When I tell y'all, when we first walked in the space, we were like, what are we going to do with this? Like, it was so, like, the building is so old, like a lot of New York buildings, especially being in East New York. The building was so old. There's a lot of repairs that needed to be done, from the painting to the floors to everything. So we was like, we got our work cut out for us. We started, I want to say, beginning of November, so it was before Thanksgiving when we started. And you know, I kind of walked in, I had my doubts a little. I was like, I don't want to do this no more. I was like, I'm out. But that's what I was saying in my head. But I was like, no, you know what, I have a vision for this. Like, we have to do this, we have to do it now. And you know, the good thing was, I was with a group of women that also wanted to put in equally hard work. So we started off from scratch, y'all. Like, we had to put new floors in there. We had to paint. We had to do a lot of painting, and we already knew what we wanted our aesthetic to be. So the main color was going to be red and black, and a little bit of gold. So like, we had to get straight into painting. We had to do the different rooms. We had to do so much maintenance type stuff. And the crazy thing about it, y'all, we're crazy for this. We did not hire outside help beside Rue's dad. So we was in there nailing stuff. Look, I don't even know how to do construction. I'm sitting here saying nailing. We was in there hammering stuff. We was in there screwing stuff in. Like, I broke some nails. Like, y'all, anybody that knows me, I do not do handiwork. Like, when something in my house is big and needs to be put together, I get somebody to come do it. So for me to be in there on my hands and knees, like, it was to the point where there was days where I was like, I don't want to do it. Ew, like, I don't want to do it. Like, even when it came to cleaning, I like cleaning my space and my house. Having to clean other spaces, like, what in the hell? But y'all, it came out to be worth it. But there was so much, like, there were so many hang-ups. There were times when, like, the plumbing got messed up, so there was water everywhere. So imagine we did all that painting and then now there was water damage on the walls. That was really when I was like, I'm over this. Like, let's just go get a new building, scrap all this shit, and just like do what we gotta do, whatever. But you know, we pushed through. So we got the first floor done. We were putting together the furniture. Like, we got the room done to our aesthetic. Found some amazing stuff on like Etsy and Amazon to help us. Thank God, like, our community came through with donations. We were able to get donations in the beginning because putting together a space is not easy. Like, yes, you can use your personal funds, but it's even more better when the community helps you and likes to take that load off of you, so you're not always worried about, okay, I have to do this. So we went through all that hard work. There's a lot of times where, like, we didn't even believe in our vision. We were like, oh my gosh, like, are we doing too much? Like, are people gonna come? When we had our opening party and looked around and saw all those people, like, that were there for our opening party, that was when I was like, this is what was needed. And you know, our opening party was just supposed to be something real cute, like just food, drinks, talking, like showing people the space, but it ended up turning into a whole party. Like, it was so much fun to see people actually using the equipment we provided and stuff of that nature. And you know, when it came to building this space, it took a lot of like looking inside of myself. It took a lot of like, what is the purpose for this space? How is it going to help people? How is it going to help me? Because a lot of the times, I'm an Aquarius, which, you know, people like to think Aquariuses don't care about other people, but we deeply care about other people. We just show it in different ways. So a lot of the time, I'm always doing things for other people, whether I'm teaching, helping, donating, whatever. And I was like, what is this space doing for me? This space is not only providing classes and you know, a safe space for other people to rent and do their thing, but also it's giving me a space to where I can come and just have my sessions. I don't have to worry about renting from no one anymore. I don't have to worry about like microaggressions, passive aggressiveness. I don't have to worry about any of that. Like, I know I'm in a space that I'm very comfortable in. I know the ins and outs. Like, and that's the beautiful thing to me. I can pull up on a dungeon at any time, like 24/7, and do something in there. Even if it's not a session, I can go create content. I can take photos. I can teach my classes there. Like, it's just amazing to know that I am the owner of a dungeon, especially in Brooklyn. And I'm a black woman, because there are not a lot of dungeons owned by black women that are operating like this. So the journey was worth it, y'all. Ever since, we've just had so much fun. People have been renting from us. We've been having parties. We even opened the second floor. So the second floor wasn't as crazy as the bottom floor. But it was something that we were like, okay, let's open it. We want to add more rooms. Like, we want to add more playrooms. So like, the floors upstairs have theme rooms, from like the red room with red fur to the room of mirrors to like the glow in the dark room, our bohemian space. So like, we were able to really put our creativity into upstairs and expand it so we can have more people. So y'all, that was my journey, like, of opening a dungeon. Like, there's so many minor details I can go into, but I feel like it's so much and my brain is gonna get overwhelmed. But like, I'm just glad I have this space. I'm glad that, you know, it's available for people to come to. If you want to come to it also, I'll drop those links in the description of this, so that you're able to book. But yeah, y'all, that's my journey. You know, come out to some parties if you're in Brooklyn. If you're in New York, period, come out to some parties. We always announce parties and events going on. Hit me up if you want to join Whipz Dungeon Academy for the spring. You know, we're here for that. So that's the journey. It was a great time. And thank you for watching my video. And hopefully I will have more videos to come. I won't keep you guys waiting for too long. Also, I'm trying out blonde hair, y'all. This is probably gonna last for like another couple of days. But you know, I like it. It's cute. But yeah, bye everybody. Love you.